Hey guys, this is my run on the weekly Crystal Quest, and this week they gave us Reks Lost Chapters, which is a fairly straightforward fight. I really wanted to use a blue crystal team because that was the team I used last week, and I wanted to do one more run so that I can get the blue U2 crystal passive. And this stage, the combo with Cor and Paine is actually very powerful. How does this combo work? First off, you need both BTs on Cor and Paine, and you need both of them green, at least for the combo to work. Cor's BT effect allows him to link himself to both of his allies at once, and this matters on this stage because we will be abusing that. When Cor is linked to both allies, and the bosses are targeting all, which is your entire party, each time the bosses get a turn, Cor will do 3 preemptive strikes. The issue of course is that the bosses really only do an all attack once every 3 turns that they get on this stage, but that's where Paine comes in. When Paine's BT aura is up, all her attacks as well as the attacks of the allies on her left, so in this case since she's in party slot 1, this will include Cor and Maria, all those attacks will land a 1 turn HP silence on the boss, which means that if the boss is targeting all and you keep landing HP silence on them, they will actually be locked into targeting all for the rest of the fight and actually won't be able to do anything at all due to HP silence. So this means that it's just a sort of mow down with Cor. Each time the bosses get a turn, they get slapped by Cor 3 times and they get triggered by Maria's trap once. Maria rounds up the party only to bring in a little bit of often damage as well as healing as well, because there are some triggers during the fight that the bosses will do a knock off attack, which is a random single target HP attack. And if they happen to regen brave when they do the attack, you will take about 5-6,000 HP damage. So Maria is there just to ensure that even if you do take damage, her traps will automatically heal you the next time the bosses get a turn. This way you are guaranteed to win meeting all mission objectives. Finally, with Paine, there is one drawback to her BT aura in that it also gives her and her allies the stacks of Pumice feathers, and when it reaches 3 stacks you get an instant turn. In this strategy, that's not really ideal because you obviously want the bosses to get as many turns as possible to trigger Cor's preemptive strikes, and if you take multiple consecutive turns you tend to burn out the force time pretty quickly, especially since my Maria doesn't even have a force weapon or force attack, and she will not be able to use any echoes as well. To mitigate that, I would recommend to do BT plus with Paine as late as possible, which is just before the bosses get a turn when they are targeting all. For reference, this will be on the boss's 3rd turn. So what this means is that you need to complete your setup and enter Paine's BTFR before the bosses get their 3rd turn, which sounds very difficult because the bosses are immune to turn delay and delay, but it is actually very possible, especially if you utilize summon mode. Here I have to pop summon because the bosses are already targeting all, which is their 3rd turn, and if you see them targeting all, you need to complete your setup and enter Paine's FRBT before then. So the summon mode here helps you to achieve that while keeping the boss's force gauge frozen as well. I gave Paine the Lunafreya LD call because when I do this setup, as you can see, Paine usually gets the last turn in summon mode. I give her the Lunafreya LD call because he does need one action to get BT plus in, and you can't do BT plus in summon mode. Plus on top of that, you need to use Paine to attack once after her BT aura is up, just to land the HP silence on the bosses. You can easily achieve this just by using the Lunafreya LD call. What you want to do is just simply use the LD call on the final turn in summon mode. This will allow Paine 3 actions after summon mode, of which you can use BT plus on the second and enter force time on the third to complete the setup and then HP silence on the bosses. Throughout this course of the fight also, you do want to pay very close attention to the Oath of Absolute Defense buff on both Paine and Maria, because they take multiple consecutive turns sometimes during the fight, especially when the Pumice Feathers reaches 3 stacks. That buff tends to wear out pretty quickly. So if you need to, have Cor reapply the buff on both Maria and Paine when it gets low. Also, the route that I took here, I decided to sort of try to save echoes for the later part of the fight. On hindsight, I'm not sure whether that's the best approach here. There are trade-offs. If you use both Cor and Paine's echoes earlier, they do a bit less damage of course since you're at a lower bonus, but they build the force gauge bonus faster, which leads to more damage on Cor's preemptive strikes. It may be worth it just to spam all your echoes early on and get a very sizable force bonus as quickly as possible to make use of Cor's preemptive strikes. In any case, the option that I took here is to instead save the echoes for the later part of the fight. Now there are also two options for the main FR. Here I used Paine because it's very easy to get plus 80% a turn with Paine. You can actually also use Cor's FR as the main, because each time the bosses get a turn, they will get 3 attacks by Cor and 1 off-turn attack by Maria, which is 4 attacks per boss, and each of those attacks will get plus 5%. So essentially, anytime the bosses get a turn, you get plus 20% bonus, and Cor's FR also gives you another plus 40% if you can do more than 999 brave damage in one attack during a turn, which means that they sort of even out. If you use Cor's FR as the main, you should be getting at least 80% a turn, sometimes more if the bosses get a lot of turns in a row, making Cor's FR a very enticing choice as the main FR in this fight as well. That's pretty much it for the rest of the stage here. The bosses are locked in to targeting all and they will always be stunned during their turn. Like I said earlier in the video, there are some parts of the fight where they will do a triggered attack called knock off, and that will target a single character. If the bosses are in a broken state when they do that attack, it will do 0 damage, but if you are unlucky and they recover brave, it can do like 6,000-7,000 damage to a single target. But with Maria in the party, that doesn't matter too much because her traps will also heal you when the bosses eventually get their next turn. So this is a very safe and very consistent strategy. Damage wise is pretty tight, I have to say. I do have a 2/5 bow ultimate weapon on Maria. I did try this fight without an ultimate weapon on Maria and I did manage to complete it. However, that fight took much longer because the bosses managed to enter force time at 2% health, and in their force time they auto heal 80% of the damage that they take, which in essence means that you're only doing 20% of your regular damage. I ran out of force time and the last 2% was pretty slow, so I decided to redo the fight with a bow ultimate weapon on Maria so that I could complete the fight in 1 force time comfortably. I would say the 5/5 ultimate weapon and the BT plus on both Cor and Paine are at least mandatory. If you don't want to invest in a bow ultimate weapon for Maria, I think you can make do without it. You can probably further optimize the run and still finish it in 1 force time without even a bow ultimate weapon, but that would be a much tighter run overall. Now I forgot to mention this earlier in the video, but if you're using Maria, do not use proper shot outside of summon mode, because in this stage the bosses will counter any attack, any elemental attack that isn't thunder and water elemental. Maria is the only character that can do that in this party at least. Her proper shot is wind elemental, so if you do proper shot she will get countered and lose a lot of life and her buffs. So don't do proper shot outside of summon mode. All of Maria's other attacks are fine, those are non-elemental, so you can just go trigger happy with the rest. The only exception here is the proper shot attack. One quick note about Paine, she must be in party slot number 1, because otherwise you get too many stacks of the Pumice feathers and you get too many consecutive turns.
調子に乗るなよ。この力で闇の制裁を。
This was the attack I was referring about earlier in the video. I did make a mistake, I called it the knockoff attack. Couldn't really remember the name, but looks like it's actually tentacle knock. Both bosses decided to target Maria with the attack, but you can see she still managed to survive it pretty comfortably. And you easily heal up to full after that, so that attack doesn't really kill you. Almost there. This attack should do it. Nice. As always, I hope the video has been helpful, and if you enjoyed the content, do leave a like, comment and subscribe. It really helps a lot. Till then, I'll see you guys in the next Crystal Mission Quest. Bye!